Hi, I'm Marshall Wallace, the founder and CEO of Brevity. I'm going to start this talk 3 times. 1, this talk is about how highly effective people do what they do, and about how we can build systems, simple systems, that translate their efforts into simple processes that we can learn from their experience. 2, this talk is about using technology and designing technology that works with the characteristics of our brains and allows us to leverage attention and motivation so we can accelerate learning and behavior change. And 3, this talk is about do no harm. This talk is about striving to embody the practice of it so that we can amplify that practice. I worked at the Do No Harm Project for 17 years, the director for 12 of those years. Our mandate was to examine the interactions between conflict and interventions. In practice, this meant that we observed several thousand people working together to learn how to work in complex environments. The result of this massive collaborative learning project was a simple analytical process that, sorry, I keep going the wrong way. It was a simple analytical process that allowed people to do their work most effectively and learn to get better. They start with a context, they observe the context, they observe change in the context, they make decisions based upon their observations, and they put those decisions into action. This feedback loop allows people to go through a learning process. They get better every time they go through it. As we said yesterday, often you have to start with the context. In theory, it's a circle. You can start anywhere, but start with the context. Dividers and connectors are simple, they're useful and easy to understand. They're also extraordinarily powerful. But the way to make decisions based upon them is by observing the change in them. Can technology improve upon this? I do not think it can. What technology is good at, however, is providing immediate and useful feedback that improves our learning process. I've built software called Landscape that helps us to amplify that loop. The faster we go through that loop, the more often we go through that loop, the better we learn how to do our work. Landscape is a place where people can put their lists of dividers and connectors, and they then have the opportunity with their teams to share these dividers and connectors with anyone in the world. They can share them with their organization's headquarters, they can share them with donors, they can share them with communities, so communities can see what we're doing. Then people come in, they rate these using that finely tuned analytical capacity of us, ourselves, our feelings. Is this worse? Is this better? Or is there no change? And they can add notes for future understanding. The system provides immediate feedback in 2 ways. One is this way, in the form of a graph, in real time. As you're entering this data, it provides you with these graphs. A team is aggregated here, so this is the aggregate of a team. The second way that it helps to provide feedback is through the social feedback process. If your team is 10 people and 8 of you say things are getting better, 2 of them are saying things are getting worse, you can also see how your individuals have rated things, and that opens up a conversation. They aren't wrong, they are observing things differently than you are. And to actually talk that through, to make the assumptions and the observations explicit, is an important part of the teams getting better. The learning process gets better and faster. As we say, measurement, we get what we measure, right? I'm showing you here an example of a divider. It's dividers and connectors. What happens when we measure connectors?